Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we're mailing it in for show 2999. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Clayton, Goeken, and Schott.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey-oh. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun today. It's show number 2999, the eve of show number 3000, which is pretty cool. We're doing 3-day dedication to show number 3000. We're doing a mailing it in for $29.99, 3000, of course, and then 3001. I don't know. I think it's a big deal. I think 3000 podcasts.
A lot of shows.
The most, I think the closest behind us probably has like 750, 800, something like that. So
I'm pretty sure I remember listening to show 1000.
Right, yeah.
I remember recording show.
Yeah.
I remember recording show 2999.
He say 529, Steve, was my
529.
So
That's
I've
a
been here
famous show.
at least since then. So
yeah, that wasn't your first show, so
No.
yeah, we were.
So I've been here for a fucking long time.
This is true. This is very true.
Jesus Christ.
You opened a lot of Scotch bottles when I first started listening.
That's all I had.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking bourbon when Steve asked me to be on the shows. I bought a bottle of Michter's to be on the show, and I drank half of it, got fucking blacked out drunk, and didn't think I'd be invited back.
First show she
But
was
here
ever
I
on.
am.
Yeah. She was playing Who Wants to Be a Bourbon Millionaire and didn't know anything. And
Why would I? I didn't know anything. And also Steve asked the most fucking ridiculous questions of like, who the fuck even would have known that? It was like,
everyone knows.
It sounds like a terrible decision to invite you on to a show entitled "Who Wants to Be a Bourbon Millionaire."
Why would he decide to have that show when it was like my first show on there?
Yeah.
And it was like, how big is this still at Buffalo Trace?
I think he was setting you up.
And I'm like, how big is the fucking still? They're like, is it 47? Is it 72? Is it 64? I'm like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. So there you go. She survived through that. So yeah, we left her passed out at her parents' living room. But yeah, that
more
was
than
the
once.
first. Yeah. So
More than
What
once.
did
Sounds like an
parents
Animal
thought?
House episode.
what did your parents think on that?
Oh,
first-
they've have plenty of opinions about my drinking over the years.
Okay. Now you're going to a national audience. What do they think about that?
I don't think they thought it was a national audience because I told them it wasn't. I said, I don't know. This guy has like 100 listeners probably. I don't know. I was like, sounds like a fun time. I've got nothing else going on Sundays.
Okay. That's good.
So that's why.
Okay. Well, Beka, you did say you got small talk for today. What do you got for us?
I wanted to know if you guys think it's cool to decorate with empty bottles.
Decorate with empty bottles.
Empty liquor bottles.
Decorate?
Like display them. Well, that's a form of decoration right there. It's a lamp.
Yeah.
I
Either
think the
display
lamp
them-
and the the bottle with the lights, the super fine wired
The
LED
Firefly
lights.
lights?
Yeah, I kind of like those. We like to turn. Since we remodeled in 2017, we put in the can lights and the LEDs and stuff, so that it's real dimly lit. Like we like basically where Beka's sitting. Dark wood, kind of a dark cabinish feel to it. So
Okay.
we like those little accent lights.
Sure.
But anything more than that, it's just shit you got to dust.
Right.
And Daddy
Hate
don't want to
dusting.
dust.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy doesn't
Yeah,
want to.
I
Daddy
can't,
don't
like,
wanna
when
dust.
someone asks me about empty bottle decorations, the only thing that pops to my head is, like, you go to someone's, like, college apartment, and there's just, like, fucking Burnett's bottles and shit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
come on,
Barton's
man.
vodka.
Like,
Yeah.
See one of those
Yeah,
on
it's just
your see one of those up on your windowsill.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
I
it's just like
do
you
have
can just recycle.
a small collection. I don't know. It's maybe 50 bottles of pre-Prohibition era, like pint-sized bottles and stuff like that. I think those are kind
Those are cool though. But that actually has like
they're all
history
old
behind it.
labels. And,
When I was
Yeah.
displaying my liter bottles of Captain Morgan on top of my cupboards when I was 18 years old, I'm not sure that was cool,
right.
That counted as decoration.
but it was a statement
Okay,
piece
okay.
for sure.
Yes.
And
Well,
you
I'm
got
glad-
50 empty bottles of Captain Morgan, or the handles. They're the handle bottles of Captain Morgan.
Okay.
It was a statement, definitely.
Well, I mean, go
I'm glad
big
I
or
get
go
a
home.
pass on the Prohibition era stuff. It's cool because I feel like if I was starting a brand, you can pull a lot of stuff from they just use interesting phraseology of things and stuff like that.
Oh, for
Almost
sure.
like Royce has, Sweet Thump. That sounds like it should be on a pre-Prohibition era bottle. It's stuff like that that's on there. It's so cool. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Even
I don't
big
think
brands
those,
like Beam are different then. Yeah. Go ahead, Clayton.
yeah, like the beam decanters and stuff. I mean, again, those are art pieces in my mind. Like,
Right.
that's, meant to be displayed,
Actual history bottles, I think those are cool to display if they're empty still.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like they're
I would
still
be okay
they're still
with
fun.
barrel heads too.
Barrel heads, yeah. Sure. Barrel heads
Like
are all
Barrel
right.
heads are cool.
finished barrel heads, not necessarily just a raw barrel head, but
Right. Schott, how about you, man? What do you do? Empty bottles?
I have some empty bottles, but mine are all have sentimental value. I have one that's from '64, which is when I was born. Still has a tax stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another weird one that was given to me by a friend. It's not totally empty, but I have no idea about this bottle.
Okay. It's good.
But it looks
Original.
good.
Right. What is that?
I think it's from '73.
Okay.
that's
I'll
that's
tell you
very
what-
westernish looking, like
it did look-
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Tombstone
Cowboy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you-
once they're dead soldiers, they pretty much end up recycling, unless it's something that has a strange look to it. You know what I mean?
Then I save them for craft people. I don't do anything with them myself, but yeah, I try to save them for people who do crafts with them. So that's pretty cool. But I'll
I
tell you
tend
the
to
old-
keep corks
yeah.
because you never know when
yeah.
a cork is going to break, and you
A
need
smart-
like
Sure.
an odd size.
A
cork.
smart bourbon fan should have a small collection of corks on hand just in case for one breaks. I agree with that, 100%. You
Mhm.
gotta have different sizes because you don't know what you're gonna be breaking. Oh, there you go. There's Royce. There's Royce Stanley. What's going
What's
on,
up,
man?
guys?
How you doing,
Hey,
man?
Royce.
Stan can't build yet.
No, he's gonna go at 6:03 tomorrow or 7:03. He'll bail. He bails
Hey,
every time.
we've still got time. We've still got time.
He never goes on anything. He always
Does he
bails.
have a room?
I think he has a room. Yeah. And but
He
he'll
did go to Bourbon Palooza.
He did go to Bourbon Palooza. Yeah.
yeah, but
That's
then he
because his
skipped.
brother made him.
Skip something else, yeah. And it'll be like this horrible, like, oh, my tummy hurts. Ooh, it's my tummy. It's my tummy. I can't. And I'm like,
The
oh,
nerds
okay.
are playing in 4 days.
Right. It'll be like, oh, it's my busy season. It's like, well, you're a financial guy. Isn't any time busy? It's not the end of the year or something. What? It's not tax time. It's not the end of the year. Well, it's so busy. Oh, there's a lot of trading goes on in late August. Oh, sure.
Lots of trade.
A lot of trading.
Lots of trading happens. So, yeah. I'll tell you, the only person who has a good display of like current bottles, the only person who has that, Freddie Johnson, because he does that thing, and you guys have signed bottles for Freddie before, ones
Yep.
that you've given him and stuff like that. When he drinks those Those will stay. He displays bottles that they got from people, and they're just normal bottles. It might be just a regular store shelfie of Buffalo Trace, but if you gave it to him or you sat at his house and drank it with him, he'll save that, and that's pretty cool. The way he does that, he's a cool dude. So if I saw his collection, I'd want to look at it. I'd be like, who was drinking with Freddie here, or who gave him bottles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that. I mean, that's like almost just like a memory piece of like, okay, like remembering, like who I drank this with or who gave it to me or like, like the value behind it just beyond what's in it,
The guy who preaches it's bourbon's about moments, he captures moments by having people sign those bottles. So that's cool. That's it's very fit Royce Neely right there. So he's ripped. That's ripped Royce Neely.
Ripped Royce Neely. That's
Royce
his new name.
Neely. Look at him. He's a guy. I'll tell you what, if he went strolling by in his underwear in front of Molly Wellman right here, right now, she'd like it. She'd like the show. She wouldn't be offended. When he
ooh!
Yeah. When he went strolling by last time, the look of shock and disgust on her face was incredible. But this time she'd be like, okay.
Weighing in at 182 pounds, it's ripped Royce Neely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
she'd want him to get the bottle off the top shelf, that's for sure.
Right.
Ripped Royce Neely.
Oh, that was the best. It's just him just strutting by.
He does strut, doesn't he?
Wow. Why don't you have a pour of Romburgers?
Not a care in the world. And then after it happens, he blames Beka. Now she's podcasting or doing the thing, and he blames her. She's like, "Well, why do you have the video on?"
I have to. I literally have to have the video on. It's part of my job to have the video on.
It's not going to be video.
He's like, just turn that off. Turn it
know that by now.
Oh God, that was a classic moment. That was quite the moment.
It was classic for sure.
COVID moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of good COVID moments.
Yeah. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Schott. None of our tryouts here, the people who are trying for America's Got Podcast Talent, have won a cork pop yet. Let's see what you got here. Oh, he's going 3-chamber. 3-chamber, right? Yeah, the second one. Okay, solid. Could be enough. Schott's bringing it. He's going for it on the last show. All right, Jim looks like he's ready, so we'll go with Goeken next.
The 10th Mountain Single Malt.
Okay.
Swide on the set.
Okay. Close.
Anything?
Not
Close,
that. Yeah, we heard it, but I think
Schott got you.
I think Schott got it, but barely. See, I think that Schott got it though.
Okay,
all right,
I
Clayton.
tried the live performance setting that time. That's got nothing.
You did better.
You did better. That was your best so far.
That Starlight Cigar Batch, Amber on a rum finish. So we'll see what she's got.
Okay. Okay, nothing there. Nothing there. We'll let Beka go next. Beka, what do you got?
Right. I have got some new riff, single barrel. I don't know. VBM. I don't know who that is. It's a dragon fruit pick.
Okay.
And it's got a picture of Hank Hill on it.
All right.
Bobby.
Bang.
Bobby.
Now, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby. That
Indiana
bottle ain't
Jones.
right.
Okay. We have a new leader in Beka. She could sweep this thing, but she's got to get through me, and I've got Barrel Seagrass. I opened this bottle about a week ago, and something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with the damn thing.
There's a leak.
Somebody
I'll get to
stole
the
it.
bottom of this.
There's a hole in it.
Audience, I can assure you, I will get to the bottom of this. I don't know what's happening here, but I will find out. I will find out. So here we go. Whoa! Explosive, but not as good as Beka. She takes it. She sweeps. A clean sweep by Beka. 4
Cheers.
for 4. So cheers to Beka. So
Cheers.
all right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue to mail it in for show number 2999. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
This is Lenny Eckstein, and to set the record straight, I am a vegan, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're mailing it in for show 2999.
Yes, we are. So here's where we're at here, folks. We're going to have a talk in just a second here. But before we get to that, I want to remind everybody, we're moments from announcing a winner of America's Got Podcast Talent. One of these three that has joined Beka and I will move on, and they will become a regular guest host on the Bourbon Daily. This is life-changing. You're now part of the industry. You're part of an iconic bourbon podcast. For the other two, you'll go down into the annals of the Bourbon Daily history, where you're just a footnote. You're going to be deep in the annals.
Will there be any money?
Yeah,
no, of course not. On someone's bowling team. That's all I'm here for.
So
young
yes,
guys might like to be in the annals. This old guy doesn't.
Oh, there'll be no
I
money.
prefer the pre-anals, but yeah.
We'll see. Beka, in your mind, is everyone still alive, or
I think everyone's still alive.
I think so too. They need a strong second half to this show, and then you and I, we're going to put our microphones on mute. I'm going to call you, and we're going to discuss it. Well, they have to sit there and watch us, though they can't hear us. It'll be fun.
Is it going to be like the ticking, kind of like on
Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Ding.
I wasn't thinking that so much as like when Howie Mandel calls the banker.
Yeah,
He talks to the banker.
like that. They don't get to hear it though. They won't get to hear it, so it'll be a private conversation. We'll have to cut a lot of that out because it'll just be boring. But yeah, of
course.
Yeah.
Hey, can you do it like Maury style? Like, you are not the next co-host.
maybe we'll cut someone. That's how we'll do it. We'll cut someone, and then it'll be down to two, and then we'll announce the winner.
Steve's just going to kick him off the show right when that happens.
Right.
If our video goes dead.
Yeah.
Then you know you've been cut.
So you either go down in infamy or you go down in the annals of the flames. So yeah, so
Way to
there you go. All right, so Schott said there's something he wanted to talk about. He's bringing it. He's trying to go for it here.
So here's an interesting concept.
Small talk. Okay, what do you got?
As I get to be older, I'm 60 soon, and I've got friends croaking around me.
Sure.
I made a comment to my wife, and she thought I was nuts. I said, okay, there's two things. If I die, number one, I want to have enough alcohol inside of me that they can just toss a match on me and fucking Viking funeral.
Okay, Viking funeral.
And she goes, well, what if that doesn't happen? I said, leave an open casket, bring out all my bourbon to the funeral home, and then everybody takes a shot and just throws the shot glass in. And then when I go to the the barbecue pit of death. And they burn me, so she has that urn the rest of her life that she's going to look at and just totally, that son of a bitch spent all that money on that bourbon. Everybody will enjoy it. They'll send me off well, and she'll be sitting there going, God damn it, him. Okay. And I'm good with that. Because, I know I did my job right.
That's your plan. Everybody has a shot. Throw the glass in there, and then those glasses from your friends. This is not a bad plan, actually. That are in your casket.
A bunch of little Glencairns in there.
Okay.
We're talking glass, or are we talking like plastic? Sunday communion cups.
I think they got to be glass because
1800 degrees doesn't really matter. It's
and I'm thinking if
he wants to carry those to the afterlife, they got to be glass.
I agree.
Yeah, because communion glasses, the plastic. I mean, that would be a real stench, and your wife would have that in the house, from eternity.
That's a good point.
Right.
Good point.
That would be awful. It's got to be glass.
Got to be glass.
The glass would make some sort of artwork thing because it would melt and then it gets scooped up and thrown in there.
Like a leg.
Yeah. Then at some point, if she ever decides to open that urn,
a femur bone,
go through there and within there, you that glass. Who knows what sort of artwork it is? Maybe it forms into a bourbon bottle and be like, whoa, look at this! It almost looks like it is a bourbon bottle. It could happen.
It'll look like a High West bottle with all the grains in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they take that ash. They literally as big as I am. She could probably get a big fucking diamond out of it too.
Sure, get a diamond out of it.
So we do that camping. Like I traditionally like
diamonds.
No, yeah, oh yeah.
So you throw glass in the fire.
Compressed stuff. Yeah, no. When we finish a bottle when we're camping, the one couple, the wife, she loves to play with fire, and so she'll be like, "You got a bottle? You got a bottle?" I'm like, "Yeah, here. We just finished this bottle," and so she'll take the bottle and put it in the fire and get the fire, going good and hot, and she'll melt the bottle, and try to maneuver it with utensils and whatnot to make some sort of a design, and then try to pull it out of the fire.
Phallic, I'm sure it's phallic, 100%.
And it always breaks. But we were at a campground at the last camping event of the year, which is like typically Veterans Day, and then we were at the same site. Same campground, same site, as our first camp out in March of the next year.
Okay.
The glass was still in the fire pit where we left it.
Well, makes sense.
So
if you're the last one,
your government dollars are not at work in the state of Missouri, cleaning out the fire pits.
I'm glad. I don't want them. I don't want to be spending money cleaning out fire pits. So
well, let's say thank you to the veterans.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you to the veterans. Thank you to the veterans. He's trying to get points by playing the heartstrings there, but yeah, we'll see we'll see how that works out.
Number of years at the VA, you find out what veterans are truly about.
Clayton, you're a young man. If you had to incorporate bourbon into your funeral, how would this happen?
Into my funeral, I mean, I think I would like to not actually in my funeral, but in my afterlife. I think I've always said I wanted to do one of those. Get turned into a tree type things. Like maybe if they could
then
spread
turn it
my
into a
ashes
barrel.
Or into a cornfield so you can mash the grains of my life into a bottle, and I think that'd be kind of cool.
I thought you were going to grow a tree, then that would then become a bourbon barrel that then aged.
Yeah,
that's long-term
really
plans.
Long
after
time.
Yeah,
that'd be like. At that point, they wouldn't even know who
It'd be like your kids'
oh, there's a picture of this guy.
Right.
He was in our family. I don't know who he is.
It's fair.
But I think,
I did some research online. He's in the annals of the Bourbon Daily Show.
Tried to be a host. Failed.
Yeah, it's like my Wikipedia, highlight moments,
Okay.
But I think, the ashes thing, since ashes are good for fertilization. I think I'd fertilize a little patch of corn or something.
Well, wouldn't it be better if they wouldn't it be better if they tucked you in the ground whole, planted a tree on top of you, and let the tree suck all the nutrients out of you? You're gonna get a better tree that way than just a little bit of carbon ash.
Yeah.
I think that's what they do, don't they? I don't know.
No. They burn you first, and then they put the ash around.
Oh.
Now, if you
that sounds like a waste.
If you went back 100 years, they would dig a hole, throw you in there, plant an American white oak, let it grow so it then can become a beautiful barrel.
I'm sure coyotes would dig them up. Where's Clayton? He's gone.
Put down
He's gone.
the eyes, they'll never find you.
Clayton's gone. No.
But I will say, like, my
don't think
number
they
one
would dig
thing
that
for a funeral, not necessarily bourbon related, but I always, whenever they always play like super sad, slow songs at a funeral, I was like, no,
Right.
turn on some Toby Keith, How Do You Like Me Now, just to see
Oh,
everyone's
God.
reaction.
You don't want to play
really-
some Joe Diffie?
No.
No, I'm a
father
Toby
brought
guy
me
through
up.
and through.
My father-in-law's funeral had a half barrel and cookies. It was the greatest.
And cookies.
Swear to God, it was snowing. It was
Right.
snowing like a son of a bitch. We had
Everyone gets 2
that
Oreos
day.
and 1 Nilla wafer.
Oh, they were fresh chocolate chips, and there was a half barrel there. We had more fun at this funeral.
Okay.
I can call my wife in to verify it that I'm not making shit up. It was something else. We had
It was
in January. We had 8 inches of snow, and every time we went outside, the snow was going in a different direction. And then we went to National Cemetery, and the fucking priest talked for 45 minutes. It was 7 degrees.
nice.
And I thought somebody was going to pull out a sidearm and shoot him. It was so
Wow.
Okay. Goeken, how about you? If you would incorporate bourbon into your funeral, what would you do?
I think I would just have to have the best bottles that I had left, and then at the end of the funeral, through the visitation, and at the end of the funeral, everybody takes a pour in kind of in memoriam of me and my life.
Right.
We had a neighbor that passed, and he was a massive Bud Light drinker.
Okay.
And at his visitation, we didn't go to the funeral, but at the visitation, at the end of the visitation, the neighbors came in. They're like, "Hey, we're all going to go have a beer with Tony. Come on in, and we're going to have a beer." And so everybody went in, and with the casket open, they put a beer, in his hands, and then everybody had a beer.
Perfect.
I bet that was the coldest beer there.
There you go.
No.
He's devolved into trying to do a routine to get
Steve, I actually, on the whole barrel thing, actually, I think that'd be like kind of a cool idea, especially like, like if you've done your executive bourbon steward class, taking your bottle of new make that you got, and then, maybe putting that into like a small, barrel like that out of the tree that you were made out of at some point.
Well, now he's bragging. Now he's bragging that he's an executive bourbon steward.
I'm a bourbon steward.
Yeah, sounds like podcast guy. Yeah, he's committed to the industry, so that could play into this.
Committed.
Could play into this.
Yeah, but he can't communicate to everyone talking like that. It's like, I'm just all I heard was wah, 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 wah.
Beka, if you were going to incorporate bourbon into your funeral, what would that look like?
He's not sharing with me ever again.
I would copy someone else's funeral, someone's wake that has already happened once.
You're welcome to follow mine because you're much younger than me.
Not yours. So Bob had his wake in our rick house. Bob loved whiskey, and so they held his wake in our rick house. We pulled out a special barrel for Bob, and people went out there and they could talk about Bob, and they had his wake there, like I said, and then they could thief from the bottle or from the barrel their own Bob's barrel, and they wrote on it Bob's barrel, and they put their name on it, and they wrote the date. And I would like to do something like that. Have my wake in the rick house. Get your own bottle to remember me by. And whenever you're sad that I'm gone, which I know you all will be, you all probably be dead, other than Clayton. But
no, I won't be. They're gonna push me up in a fucking wheelchair. I'm gonna roll down one side, and I'll have one arm moving, and I'm gonna have the whiskey thief, and somebody's gonna have to help me.
Exactly.
Sure.
So I think that'd be cool.
Years old,
okay.
Because of all the bourbon I drank, it's going to preserve me.
Probably will.
Probably.
So
I think
I do the same thing that Bob did for his wake.
Do you post
Demetrius and their death barrels? That's kind of similar idea.
Yeah.
Death barrel.
Do you
That's
post
right.
online when you're going to have one of these wakes? Because I believe I could make it through there for somebody.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Like a
I've
funeral.
known
I don't know what
in my
they.
time.
I don't know what they did for Bob's. Like I don't actually know Bob.
Was he a regular customer or anything?
I
or
don't
just-
know Bob. They were like this would have meant so much to him, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck Bob is.
Neither do we, but we thought it would be a great way to get free
100%. I'm going to be next time I go up to Neil. I'm going to be like, I'm here to celebrate the life of Dick Gazinia. Would you mind pulling out a barrel for me? We can pull from while we're here. We just me and my.
I mean, they had
friends.
they had to pay for every bottle that they got,
We'll
so
be
like
"Please
they were buying their bottle.
give us our time as we mourn our friend Dick Gazinia." So
course.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
Good old,
Thank you,
good old, good old Richard.
yeah.
Steve, how
Gazinia
would
and his
you
good old buddy
celebrate
Mike
your
Hoff.
life with bourbon?
I've not only thought about this, but I've worked on it a little bit. I really need to do more work because it needs to be done correctly. But I've identified 24 friends that will get a bottle from my collection, a full bottle. I had so many.
Well, I've not been notified.
There's one person in this group that'll be getting.
Thank you. I
Must have
appreciate
been lost
that.
in the mail.
I'm not want to say who it is, but yeah, one person's on the list. So
Let's just say it ain't Schott.
I had a change of address. Did you get that?
He did, and he
yeah. So I mean, I
Right.
want to do that. So I want to, I've had so many bottles and more than I could ever drink, and I've got so many cool ones. The allocated stuff, and I thought, you know what can I do with that stuff? Do I drink it, or do I put it aside, and give it to a friend, and then they can enjoy it? So the idea is at my funeral, and I need to write up a letter to each person. I want to write a note to each person what they meant to me, and then they'll get a bottle and a letter from me, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that hey, and drink this. The only thing I'm going to say, and of course I'll be dead, I won't know, but I am going to ask that be consumed. So this is going to be some really rare, tough to find whiskey, worth a lot of money in some cases, but it's going to be, hey, drink this. Don't flip it on the secondary. Don't. Now I can't stop you from doing that, but please don't do that. You're giving this as a gift, for God's sakes, you animal.
Do you know what you're getting, Becca? Is it a bottle of Bomburgers?
I get fucking better.
Are you gonna pick
Sure,
out?
replace
like,
it.
I have a
are you
couple
just gonna
guesses of
pick a
what it
bottle,
could
or are you gonna,
be.
like, pick
It
it
should be a bomber.
specifically?
just get
It's
Neely.
got to be a chessman, right?
I've got some guesses of what it could be, but
Right.
I have a guess
Yeah,
of what
it's-
I have a feeling that there's two people in this house.
Yeah, that'll
think.
be a good one. Yeah, two.
And I have some guesses of what they could be for sure. I really hope that whoever's on the list, Steve, that you're like, okay, they don't flip things on the secondary, so they can stay on the list.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at
Schott.
it. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
No.
does
Should
anybody
be.
but Steinkamp do secondary?
In the ABV Network group, he's the only one who sells stuff, I would guess.
No, would you take
Schott-
the
Schott
idea of just
trades some
popping the
stuff.
corks before?
So
You
is
even give
is
them
poor
out.
Amy gonna have to be handing out these bottles
She's
at
gonna
your funeral?
she doesn't like to talk to people, so I'm gonna have to appoint someone. Maybe I'll give them a second bottle for being the master of ceremonies. Amy's not gonna be able to talk.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, Amy will be like destroyed and be like,
Dude between the thumbs.
Not that Amy's upset. She'll be like,
here's
"Hey, I can
your
drink
bottle.
$5 iced teas all day long," but she doesn't just like talking in front of groups.
She's just gonna be so excited.
No,
I'm going to show
Finally.
a gallon of tea for her.
All the iced tea I can drink.
Steve,
And
all
out of
this is
spite,
needed.
she's gonna be getting, instead of getting like one of those big like the big like 5-gallon thing of iced tea at your funeral,
Right.
when everyone's like going to eat, she's gonna be buying bottles of it instead. She's
Right.
gonna get bottles of Lipton iced tea and just for people to take for free, just out of spite.
yeah. Damn
Steve, if you
$5
need an
iced tea.
Smallest, most
executor
expensive
bourbon
way to
steward,
buy
I
it.
am something on the expert.
You could do
on
that. You could
Yes,
fill in?
I'm something of an expert on the
Okay.
the subject, if you will.
I need a master of ceremonies because the warden famously doesn't like to talk to people. She's had to watch the shop.
All the iced tea she needs. I've got a.
She's had to watch the shop a couple times. One time Steinkamp just came up and took over for her because she couldn't talk to people, and then 2 other times she had to do it by herself. And she sold some Neely moonshine to one. She's really pleased about that, Becca. She'll tell you she sold some Neely moonshine.
I'm proud of her.
Oh yeah, and then the last time she had to do it, she sold a couple bottles. She claims that it was all upsell stuff too. It was all her pray work. I don't know. I can't imagine her. She probably people walk in, she just sits there and playing on her phone, and then they find something and go to the register and buy it. Yeah. She doesn't like talking to people, so yeah, weird. So there you go.
Are
Oh,
you?
go ahead.
Well, I'm curious on the subject of funerals. Are you looking at cremation or standard, normal burial with a vault and a casket?
See, I don't really care. But the wife, I actually would prefer probably cremated in that. But the wife, she figures she's going to die after me, so whoever dies last is in charge, right? So I have to ask her because she feels I'm going first, and probably am. So you'll have to ask her. But
are you gonna save on the funeral and go like stacked, like you on bottom and her on top?
No
stacking.
That's like my mother-in-law. She wants to be like this, say like, oh, I want this, this, and this, and I want this grand, picture
Mausoleum.
of myself. I'm like, no offense, you're gonna be gone. You're not even gonna know.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care what you think you're gonna.
My wife has already said Fargo. That's all I heard.
Fargo. Yeah, there you go. Heck,
Wood chipper.
you can have a bootleggers event and set me up as a target, as far as I'm concerned. That'll be the last bootleggers event. Yeah,
The very last one. It's Steve. Steve's dead body propped up.
you actually get
I'd be fine
53
with that.
rounds.
I don't care. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We're
That'd be
giving
awesome.
away rounds.
Yeah.
There's a sign on the highway, one of those portable signs. Free
Come
rounds.
by,
Come shoot Steve.
Get Steve with a Tommy gun.
Yeah. Becca, how did a cow end up in your yard today? Well, how does this happen?
Yeah, did you like that video? The cow?
Yeah.
So it was funny. We had a one of our employees. He's like, I don't know what's going on. The cops just keep like they're sitting in front of the distillery with their lights on, which is not good for business, by the way.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Like
Right.
the cops are going, and so we look
Were
down
they
there.
checking on Royce?
And yeah, well, but we look down there, we're like, what the fuck's going on? And we can see the cops are like nose to nose in their cars, like kissing almost with like their cars. They're going like back and forth. We're like, what the fuck are they doing? And like their lights are on, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden we're like, wait, what the hell is that? And there's a fucking cow in our I mean, not our yard, I guess, just in the field behind the distillery.
It's your property.
Which
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like that would be a big deal, except for the fact that we have a pond on site, and it's like, oh, who cares? A pond, like whatever, they can drink from the pond. No, it's a big deal because it's a lined pond that has to stay full. And if a cow fell into our pond, which is 18 foot deep and not easy to get out of, they're going to rip up our liner on that pond. And that's going to cost us a lot of money. And so it's a huge deal for there to be a cow back there. Now, we do have an electric fence, and so ideally they can't get past that. And we put it up because of cows. And so we're like, well, let's hope the cow doesn't go down there. But, and I'll show this to the other guys here on the show, which obviously the audience cannot see this.
Will
But
that be a new single barrel cow pond?
The red light.
There's our cow just hanging out in the field. And then luckily one of our guys closed the rig house because the cow.
Well, it felt like it was a barn. Yeah, it was just,
Yeah, he
like
would have
rain?
just probably ran right in
I think
there.
I'll just go in the barn. Yeah.
Nice black ink there.
But this cow was like hanging out back there, and then he just ended
Did
up
you have a
running
drink
down
with
the road, like around the distillery, and ran down to was like down towards the Love's truck stop.
Did someone claim him?
Huh?
Did someone was he like tagged?
Yeah, Royce did. And
we
now they
think
got
we know
T-bones
who's-
and ribeyes in their refrigerator.
We think we know whose cow it was, and like that guy was called, but he didn't get out here for like 2 or 3 hours to get the cow.
Wow.
There's
And so
not
these
usually
two cops
one
were just like trying
that gets
to,
out.
they're trying to wrestle this cow for hours. It's
like-
pretty funny.
Possession's 9/10 of the law, isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
eminent domain or something.
We
like
thought
that.
he would have just stayed in our field because like there's plenty of grass to just eat back
Right.
there, but
Well, it's
he ended
usually
up-
not one. There's
Wanted to go to
usually
Love's.
a
Wanted to go to Love's.
herd of cattle.
yeah, it was just one for whatever reason.
Road cow.
He was just having a nice Sunday.
Yeah. Nice.
You know,
And it
wandering
was-
around,
yeah.
going and trying the wild grass in the fields, and
Living the
enjoying
life.
his day. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was really having a nice. He was having a nice mental health Sunday.
Yeah.
I
So-
grew up on a farm, and the entrance into our homestead, was there was a crossing across a ditch, and we were actually out of town, and we got a call one night that there was this carload of kids who had gone into the ditch, hit the entrance to our property, gone airborne, flipped upside down, and wiped out the fence that kept our cattle in. And our cattle all got loose. And the neighbors all rounded up our cattle and brought them back 2 days later.
Wow.
But there's usually not one by itself. Usually a guy doesn't have one cow.
Well,
and cow are they're like sheep. I mean, where if one leaves the fence, the other one's like,
they kind of all do. It's I don't know what's like these cows do this all the time. Like they get out of that guy's. I don't know if it's this particular cow or what, but this guy's cows or cow it's always just one cow.
Huh.
And I'm wondering if it's the same fucking cow all the time because he has a bunch of cows, but this happened not that long ago, and our neighbor kind of freaked out because he just saw this huge black figure in the field and was like, "Oh my god, what is that?" He thought it was a bear, but it's a cow. And that's when we went and put up the fence the first time because we were because we actually found the cow tracks right next to the pond, and so luckily he didn't fall in. But it's like rocks that are not put there nicely, they're not there to be drinking from the pond.
Stopping erosion.
Yeah, and so we lucked out that the first time this happened that the cow didn't fall in, but
maybe you wanted some of the corn left over from the mash.
I don't know. I think he wanted that pond.
And
I'm sure it smelled really good, so I would imagine that's why he was over there. I've got a question for you guys. Do you guys call? There's a particular animal that goes by two names, but it's the exact same animal.
Aardvark,
and I want to know what you guys think is the correct name to call it.
Aardvark or anteater?
Not that.
Then you're
groundhog or woodchuck?
Groundhog.
Groundhog.
That's a Missouri thing.
So I'm just going to say that technically all animals have two names, scientifically speaking, in their anthropologic family.
Okay, this is not looking good for you right now, Clayton. I'm just letting you know. But if you see a groundhog or a woodchuck, which are the exact same animal, what are you going to call it? A groundhog or a woodchuck?
Groundhog.
Rattus felinus.
Right. What do you call it?
It's a fucking woodchuck.
No.
That motherfucker is a woodchuck.
What about a whistle pig?
This isn't Canada.
Whistle pig.
We call them woodchucks.
Okay, that's weird.
That's what we call them.
What does Royce call it? Groundhog?
Groundhog. And so it makes him it drives him just slightly insane that I'm like, there's that damn woodchuck. He's like, it's a groundhog. And I'm like, where's that woodchuck at? He's like, the groundhog. And I'm like, oh, the damn woodchuck. And then the other day, my best friend Ashley McGee is drinking some sort of a cider. And I was like, whoa, what's that cider? What's all that cider? And it's called Woodchuck's Waters or something like that. It's like Woodchuck cider. And I was like, hey, Royce, look what Ashley's drinking. It's a Woodchuck cider.
Woodchuck cider is actually very good if you get the crisp apple and you take a crisp apple Woodchuck cider and a Dos Equis amber and you pour the two together.
But that's good.
Fantastic.
But groundhog cider wouldn't hit the same way a woodchuck cider would.
No.
And the
for a name like that, that's okay.
But it's a woodchuck. Woodchuck
the
and
animal
groundhog.
is groundhog.
Woodchuck, groundhog are
groundhog.
Same fucking
There's no
thing.
wood involved. It's all ground. There's no wood.
Woodchucks.
What wood is it chucking? I've never seen this in my life.
Beavers chuck wood.
But how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Well, it can't.
That's all hypothetical.
It can't.
Yeah, if it could chuck wood, how much would he chuck?
The Weaver.
He wouldn't.
No,
Beaver would.
Would he chuck wood if he could chuck wood?
No, who would want to do that?
I'm just saying.
So the talking of the cow and the mash has reminded me when we were in Kentucky the last time, we went to Kaplan's place.
Yeah.
And he's got beef from
our
place,
our distillery.
Where you said, I swear to God, I can taste the mash.
There you go.
In the beef.
It's
good beef.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. And Jeff Kaplan's a great cook, by the way. So
yeah.
There's that.
Jeffrey
him and
Kaplan
Andy were
is the
both
best.
there. I said hi to him, told him who I was and that I knew Steve Akeley, and they're like, "Oh, Steve Akeley," and
there you go.
That looks like the appropriate way that the Kaplans would
that's the
do
way
it. That
they would.
is exactly what Jeff Kaplan would do if someone
That's
said,
correct.
"Hey, I know Steve Akeley." He'd go, "Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I got nothing off my bill, by the way.
I didn't think you would."
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I also said hi to Mike, the bartender, at Bourbon's Bistro.
He knows who I am.
And Margo.
And himself.
And Margo,
Yeah, and you know what he said to me?
What?
When I said I know Steve Akeley, he's like, "What are you selling?" I was like, "I'm not selling." "No, you're selling something. What are you selling? What do you want me to buy?"
No.
Like, I'm not selling
I
anything.
love Mike.
That's great.
Did you get the banana pudding or the bread pudding? Sorry.
Bread pudding. Yeah.
No,
It's
no,
so
we didn't.
good.
We didn't get. I don't.
Did you get the pork chop?
I got the pork chop.
How was that?
I will order the pork chop the next time I go.
The fucking pork chop's fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
people look at me like I'm insane when I tell them to go to Bourbon's Bistro and get the pork chop. I go, I know I sound crazy, but get the pork chop.
Pork
Get the
chop's
pork
not
chop.
good anywhere else. The pork chop's amazing at Bourbon's Bistro.
I do not order food that my mom cooked out because it's never going to compare to what my mom cooks.
Right.
My mom was a fantastic cook. She cooked. She's old. Well, she's dead, but she was old before she was dead.
God.
Jesus Christ.
And she cooked for a thrashing crew. So she died two years ago. Yeah, year and a half, whatever. But she was 94, and she grew up during the Depression, and she cooked for a thrashing crew, which none of you guys know what a thrashing crew is, but a thrasher was a machine that ran on steam. It was like a steam engine, but it sat stationary for the most part, and it had a belt drive system on it, and they ran a thrashing machine, and you would bring the wheat from the field to the threshing machine, and it would separate the wheat from the straw. And so there would be a group of 50 men that would come to custom thrash your wheat field for you, and she cooked dinner for all those, and so she was a fantastic cook. However, in her older years, she had a hard time cooking for two people because she was used to cooking for a huge amount of people. So the recipes didn't come down good. But yeah, I don't go out and I don't buy pork chops. I don't order meatloaf. I order stuff that I couldn't
I don't
get
recommend the pork chop anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
There's no other place I say get the pork chop. But I'm telling you, if you go to Bistro, get the pork chop.
It's Bourbon's Bistro.
Well, I'll tell you what. There were four of us. We had the pork chop. We had the steak fritas. We had the shrimp and grits, and we had the ravioli that just won some damn contest. Everything was fantastic.
That place is great food, man.
And probably the best old fashioned I've had.
It's underrated. It's underrated.
What kind did he make you?
Mike
made me a black walnut old fashioned. Best I've ever had.
I just said old fashioned, but they wanted to know what I wanted it with, and I wanted. I think I had them make it with Old Forester rye.
There you go. No, that's not a bad thing.
I only make old fashioned with rye.
Okay.
As you should.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, we might come to our point in this
They've done what they could. They've done what they could. They've all attempted to become a regular guest host, meaning they'll get invites to come on Friday nights or Tuesday or Friday nights or Sunday nights, I should say. And look for our text invites coming your way very soon to our winner. So what we're going to do next, Becca and I, we're going to mute the microphone. We'll edit this out in post-production for the audience. But let's turn off our mics, Becca, and let's chat on the phone. Here we go. So, all right. So here we go. We discussed it at length. We gave it the due diligence that it would deserve because this is an incredible opportunity. It's life changing. It's life changing. It really is. So whoever wins this thing, you've got today is the first day of the rest of your life. You've got what happened to you up until this point, and then you have what happened to you from that point forward. I mean, you think about Becca when Becca came on this show. Think about how her life's changed since coming on the show.
She was nobody.
She was living in Minot, North Dakota.
I was just nobody in the bourbon world.
Yeah.
But she was a somebody.
now she's somebody in the bourbon world, and she's living in Kentucky. Totally different life. She's married. She was single. There's a whole thing. Beka is probably the best example of change that happens in your life.
So here's a question. I mean, this is philosophical, but do you think if COVID wouldn't have happened that you would be where you are?
No.
Yeah. Well, me
well,
or Steve?
Yeah, Beka.
Oh, Beka. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're heading towards.
Yes, I think
it might have changed the timeline.
Might have been. Say time-wise, maybe would have been different, but
right.
Well, taking a little longer.
Beka and Royce were going to get married. They were meant for one another. So, yes.
So you were dating
a little bit beforehand. Yeah.
We were engaged right when COVID started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
We got engaged the week before COVID kicked off.
There you go.
Okay.
The debut of COVID.
That's when my camper was built.
The full kickoff of COVID.
They're like, next week there's a big event going on.
Yeah, it's a big event.
We're going to beat that.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that our engagement doesn't get overlooked.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We want this to be an event.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So this is a big deal. This is a life-changing opportunity for someone, and we have 3 contestants vying for 1 spot. The other 2 will go down in the annals of the Bourbon Daily history. Whereas the one, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, we're going to do this as follows. It's going to be 1 person gets eliminated. That's going to get us down to the final 2. We'll give those individuals an opportunity to make one last plea, and then we'll announce our winner. So here we go. It is now time to eliminate someone. I'm being handed a card. I want to thank you for coming out today.
Dim the lights?
I want to thank you for coming out today. Appreciate the opportunity to come on and learn about your bourbon journey and all that kind of stuff, and hanging out with us on a Sunday night. Chris Schott, we appreciate the opportunity to come on and hang out with us. That leaves us Clayton and Jim left. We're going to have each of you say a little bit of word here. What do you got? We'll start with Clayton. Clayton.
What if they sway us, Steve?
I know. We will.
Am I looking this way? Because I was just going to thank you for, letting me on, and, happy to drink some bourbon with friends,
Okay. Well stated. All right, Jim.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I was very honored to get the email and the question if I would come on, and was a little concerned at first of whether or not I wanted to come on and subject myself to the ridicule that I knew would be coming. But I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I wouldn't mind doing it again if you want me to.
Okay. All right. Their statements are now part of the Bourbon Daily's official record, and it's now time to make our decision. And I want to say, congratulations to all 3 for being part of this America's Got Podcast Talent. That's pretty cool. And I also want to, of course, congratulate our winner, who's going to be invited on the regular. Hopefully, he'll be on some shows, whether it's with Miss Beka Sue here or McNew. And congrats to our winner, Goeken. You have been selected as America's Got Podcast Talent winner.
Hey, well deserved.
How about that?
Well deserved, right
Thank
there.
you.
You brought it. You brought it. I felt like coming into the night. I don't know that you were the favorite. I can't say you were the favorite. I thought, I thought if Clayton comes on and he gets into his crazy shit and gets in fights with Beka, he's going to win this goddamn thing. Beka's going to be yelling at him and people are going to be loving it. But he didn't. He didn't get any fights with Beka, other than the Burger King one. She didn't really take the bait either. I threw out the Burger King one to try to help him, and she didn't take the bait. She was like, it's not even worth arguing. So, so it didn't really happen. So that leaves Goeken.
It can't be all on me, unfortunately.
Right. So Goeken just brought the whole evening. It was knowledgeable, fun, and there you go. So there you go, Goeken. Hopefully we'll see you on some more shows. And the other 2, Clayton ends up appearing on a lot of shows anyway. He comes in and sits at the tasting bar with us, and so all that stuff will continue.
Congratulations to all 3.
Congrats to all 3.
All did great.
Yes.
We're all
Plenty of
winners
people.
in
Awesome
life.
job, everybody.
Plenty of people would want this opportunity. I mean, Probst. I mean, can you imagine? He'd want to be here. So he didn't even get to
But he
guy.
wasn't even invited.
He didn't even make it. So there you go.
He's on Whiskey Row in Tennessee.
Yeah. He's having the time of his life. Missing out on being the true time of his life. So, yeah.
He's on one of those little carts peddling, drinking whiskey or beer from somebody.
Right.
Oh, he's on a pedal tour?
Yeah.
If he was on the Bourbon Daily, he'd be able to walk into any of those bars and just be like, I'm Dave Probst,
I'm
from the Bourbon Daily. Yeah, and they'd be like, oh, shit. Right up front, sir. Right up front. The table just opened up for you. Kicking someone out, so there you go.
Would you like to sit down with Eric Church and have a drink?
Have a drink? Yeah. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find a Schott. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Chris R. Schott at Facebook, or you can get me at Audible Schott on Instagram, and what was the other one we talked about earlier?
Snapchat. You're a Snapchat guy.
And I think I'm on somewhere on X, but I don't know what it is. But
on X too. Okay.
Formerly known as Twitter.
Each time he added a new one, so yeah.
I keep remembering things.
He's gotten better at that.
He keeps signing up for shit during the off season.
Right.
I've been on this shit for a long time. I've never paid attention to what I've joined.
You can hit him up. He's not going to respond to you because he doesn't look.
You got to release season orders now because then otherwise it's like he's getting rid of stuff.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I definitely got to keep the order right here. All right, Goeken, how about you?
I'm on Facebook at Jim Goeken.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
Clayton.
You can find me on Facebook at the Jefferson County Bourbon Collective and Instagram, Jeff Co. Bourbon Collective.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop. You never know what's going on. Maybe we'll be doing a show in there. You can join in for us. Maybe you'll make Rate the Regulars, an ongoing feature that we've got at the ABV Barrel Shop. You can check out what we have going online at abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you very soon, which is tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Adios.
Till next time.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.